Okay, we're here in the next episode. I don't know if I began it on the kid fecal matter thing. I feel like I should. Out of context. All right, Derek, let's hear your less crazy Saturday. I don't even know what to
All
do
right,
now.
so when I got to work, someone the first thing like one of the first things I was told is apparently one of the chefs died.
Oh, there?
No, they were at home. I think they were at home. They were on leave
Okay. We had
for something
someone
unrelated.
die on the facility once on a couch. He went to bed. He never woke up. Their 3 daughters horrifically scarred. We talked about this. I think I said I watched a man die. That sounds about reasonable. So, when you pass that, let me know. I know. Keep going.
Well, people die. I mean, it's I honestly I don't know how often it happens, but it's not surprising if people die or anything in this casino. It's mostly old people, like, um. So, but that being said, the chef was I don't know how old she was, but she passed away from a blood clot apparently that morning.
Oh, nice.
At I think it was at her home or something. Um. So that was an interesting start to my day, I guess. Was coming in and immediately hearing, yeah, that person that you've worked with, yeah, they're gone now. They're not coming back. They're fired from life.
Oh wait, I did.
And if that sounds disrespectful, I'm not intentionally being disrespectful. I just have I don't have really any investment in this person, so like I'm not too affected really. It's unfortunate but like
I was the only one not affected by the dead man that I watched die. Besides the little bit when my friend said, you know what sucks? We talked to that guy in the morning. Like, we did. That was a little weird. Someone just shot like 9 missiles at me. It was excessive. Oh, he got more! Where are you getting all of these missiles from? Please stop.
Honestly, that's one of the really bad things about both places I've worked. Really, the major places I've worked are at the golf course and at this casino. A lot of the people are older people that I see frequently, and they're regulars too. Like they come back, like you see the same faces a lot, and it's not uncommon to, like, at the golf course especially, it was not uncommon for like 1 year you see someone there a bunch, and then the next year they're just never there.
Nice.
So like it's something that I would almost say I kind of got used to. It was just like, yeah, or like even some people just like you see them 1 week and then like the next or the like there were people at the golf course where like I saw like a couple days before or like shortly before they passed away or something like that, or something major happened. Like my boss would be like, hey, did you hear what happened? Or would like be like talking to someone else there, and they'd be like, hey, did you hear what happened to this person? And boss would be like, yeah, it's terrible. And I'd be sitting there like, I didn't even know anything happened. But guess,
Fuck.
huh?
That was bad.
Anyways, yeah. Coworker died.
Okay.
Then one of my other coworkers was being real bitchy, because she's just a bitch. That's pretty it. She's weird in that she'll be like, when there's nothing negatively affecting her, she's usually very buddy and like acts as though we're all friends there. I have no friends there. That's intentional.
That's by design.
Believe me, I'm there to make money, not
design.
friends. Yes, I'm there to make money, not friends.
I went too fast. I couldn't. There's nothing I could have done to avoid that. I was going too fast.
But so we have 2 registers.
Very high speed, though.
So we have 2 registers. One of them is like a main register where like you're just taking most of the orders from people. The other one is like between like where the takeout section is. Basically at this restaurant, we're like the takeout section. People come to us and order takeout or Starbucks.
Okay.
So
Starbucks.
Yeah. So there's the register where people order Starbucks or takeout, and there's another register where people can order that stuff, but we rarely open that register up unless there's just a fuck ton of people. The other register it mostly just takes checks from the restaurant as they come in, as like people finish eating. Like servers will come up and bring their people's checks to us, and we'll cash them out. Um, so that's and then so that register is a lot less stressful because you're not dealing with many customers. Because it's mostly servers that you're dealing with. And usually you assist the person running the main register as well when you're not taking stuff, but it's overall less stressful. Like no one wants to work the main register. So I was on the restaurant one, and my coworker was on the main one, and another coworker was going to be coming in shortly, and my coworker turns to me and is like, as soon as the other coworker gets here, she can hop on. One of you can get on the main register because I don't want to. And I want to be here. I want to be on it. And I was like, okay, like then you can tell her that because I wasn't like because I'm not gonna. I didn't want to just hop on because the other person because she was being bitchy. And I was going to make her tell the other person coming in that I'm not gonna if she doesn't want to be on there, I'm gonna make her fucking work to not be on there. I'm not gonna just give in and be like whatever, whatever. I'll just do it.
Yeah.
So long story short, other person gets there. No one wants to go on that register, and I'm eventually like, fuck it, fucking both being babies, I'll just do it. Because I guess some people just don't realize that when they have a job, they're expected to do that job.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Is this it?
No,
okay.
I have more. I'm just. So I ended up working there for a while.
Daily fucking bait. I do actually. Being a supervisor.
Well, I was gonna say yours a little different because you're like managing people. I'm not supposed to manage people.
That's true.
I'm Zinker. I'm not supposed to manage people, nor is my status above people. If anything, my status is actually a little bit below these people because they've been there longer than I have.
Fuck, man, come on! People are just so aggressive towards me in these games.
Without a doubt, I'm the most rational and the best worker there. I could just because I have a reasonable work ethic. I actually do work. I do my work. I don't complain about it all the time while I'm doing it, and I don't complain with managers or anything like that, or give sass or anything like that. But she was basically being a bitch all day, where she was just refusing to do most of the stuff she's expected to do because she's working, and her rationale at one point I was like, why don't you want to work, or why don't you want to be on there? She's like, I'm just done with today. I was like, that's not, and at some point
am I.
Later on,
it's only because of you.
At some point later in the day, she was at some point later in the day, she was like, she came up to me and she was like, are you upset with me? And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of annoyed that you just refuse to work this. And she was like, well, I'm done with, I'm just had a bad day. I just don't want to, I just want to leave. And I was like, great, so do I. See me fucking not working? I was basically like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You have a job. You have to do your job. That's what you do.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you want to do it. That's what you're expected to do. If you want to keep bringing, I didn't say this, but I should have. If you want to keep having a paycheck and being able to buy your son the basic necessities he needs, you better keep doing your fucking work.
I already know. That's all you need to say at that point.
Yeah.
Bitchy has a son.
Bitchy has a son. She's 20 years old. She should not be having a son. She's very much the kind of person who should not be having a child at this point in her life.
Yeah, that's like a oh my god, there was someone so bad at my work. She pissed me off so much.
This is the one that this is the one who dating a guy who's like way older than she is, and he's also married.
I can make no comments in response to that.
Polyamory is fine with me. Don't get me wrong, but it's clearly a very bad relationship in the first place. So that's where the problems are, and she's also just a problematic person. Anyways, getting back to the topic at hand. While I was working the register, at one point, there's a lady who comes up, and she's like buying some cakes, some slices of cake, and I'm like getting her cake, whatever, and the entire time she's like kind of like shaking a little bit, and I'm like and to me, like, I don't pay any heed to it. I've seen plenty of people who have like she could have had Parkinson's or something that along those lines that just caused her to shake, and she can't really do anything about that. I understand. I'm not going to ask anything about it. I'm not going to say, are you okay, or something like that, because it's very possible this is just a standard thing. And from what I heard, this is a standard thing for her. So like I get her cakes or something like that, and then I like give them to her, and I ask her, like, do you need any like forks or napkins for these? Because she bought like a bunch, and like it's like more likely than not she was just going to be taking them home, so she wouldn't really need anything. But I always ask anyways. And then she didn't respond, and then I'm like, ma'am, or something like that, and then she starts shaking like harder and harder, and she shakes really violently, and then she just collapsed on the ground right in front of me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Watch some woman die. Oops. I really hope you looked up and said, I'll have what she's having, and then promptly quit.
No, Zinker. I immediately said, I hope you live.
I'm such a bad person. I'm such a bad person.
So I immediately run, I immediately run back and grab a manager. And I basically run in the back, and I go up to my manager, and I'm like, manager, someone just collapsed in front of the counter, and she like runs out there, and as she's running out, like I'm like also going out too, and she turns back to me, she's like, you have food that's ready, take care of that. And I was like, we're not stopping briefly in my head. And I'm like,
really?
I guess I'm still working. So I went and got the food and brought it out, and then we go out there, and like there's like she's there, a patron came over too, like someone called the medical staff, and like they were on their way over, and like everyone's like kind of like around and like trying to give her space or something like that. We move the line and everyone to like a different counter, like after a little bit, we like moved everybody away from her and like to a different spot, and like while they're taking care of her, cause she didn't die. I guess I at this point I should state that.
Okay, so you're a liar. You didn't watch anyone die at all. Your story just got 5% less interesting. Way to go.
I never said I did. But for most of it, for like the next like 5 minutes, I was convinced I just watched someone perish in front of me.
And they told you to get back to work. God damn, dude.
Yeah.
That whole situation that happened at mine, like, yeah, we still kept going, I guess, but like we shut down like the areas around it, man. Like,
literally, Zinker, it barely slowed us down, and the only thing that slowed us down was that we had to make a line move to a different spot, and like and I was briefly occupied running to the back to get a manager. That was the only thing that slowed us down.
Yeah.
And we kept working while she was just there, and like eventually I heard them talking to her, and like it sounded like she was responding. So like, I think what's happened is she may have had a seizure, and
Okay.
like they ended up like eventually like medical staff was there, and like they took care of her, and like they took her somewhere else. I don't know what happened after that. She could have, like, as far as I know, they could have been taking her somewhere else, and she could have fallen down an escalator or something like that, and I just never saw it.
Yes, how most people end up dying. The escalator.
It's possible. I don't know.
Falling down an escalator forever.
Escalator lad.
Escalate. No. Elevator lad's evil
Escalator
twin
lad
brother.
struck in.
God damn it. We made a villain. We weren't supposed to.
Anyways, yeah, he can make stairs move like an escalator.
Okay. That's a pretty
That's
cool
what he
one.
does.
I feel like
he
you
can
should
manipulate
be neutral,
stairs.
then. I feel like you should be neutral. Like, he's not a villain, but he's not a hero.
Yeah, works for me. Anyways, yeah. So like they eventually take care of her. So as far as I know, she didn't just perish. She didn't perish in front of me, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the whole thing. We were also, but I should mention too, this was like literally the busiest we were all day was when but it was like right before she did this. So like,
Nice.
we had like a ton of orders already we had to take care of. We had a long line that we had to still take care
That's
of.
when that shit always happens.
Yeah. Then so after all this, after like all that, and let's see, was there anything else that happened? No. But at the end of the day, so the bitchy McBitch pants left before I did. And after pretty much at the end of my shift, I did something I've never done before, and I talked to my managers about my fellow employee being a shitty person.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting experience. It felt a little weird to. It felt a little weird, but like I know in the end, like I'm doing like I did absolutely nothing wrong, and she deserves this. But
yeah.
I talked to them about it, and like they're just gonna they already knew she was like I mean it was no news that she's problematic. Like they've had problems with her before.
Hey, we gotta move to the next episode, so.
All right. Well.
Yeah, we're doing that. It's okay. I could.
All right.
Piggyback
I'll
off
just
this.
continue.